When the people doing this were young enough, their attention span just didn't tolerate it. They would get tired of it. They just didn't want to even deal with this. This isn't fun. Why would anybody want to do this? And so they give up. And so I didn't want my son to be exposed in that kind of manner. I went to a tokymaker workshop, and I saw kids in elementary school get that far in less than 5 minutes. They didn't understand that this is hard in some other technology stacks. Traditionally, Arduino is the way to go, but here they just pulled up a web browser, slid some blocks together, and now they had lights blinking on and off in whatever pattern they wanted to do. And that didn't take them a whole day. They immediately jumped into the programming step. It wasn't the figure out your environment step.
Hello, Tracy. Thank you for joining to this testimony. So as you know, I would like you to introduce yourself first and tell me about how did you use our platform, and then I will ask you some questions if it's fine for you.
I'm a professional programmer. I've been writing software over 20 years. I've wrote software in probably every language that I've ever heard of that exists. So I like to build large software suites for big companies. But for fun, I also just like to build things. I built all kinds of crazy stuff, but I like making robots. And so, yeah, that was one of the things that really attracted me to tokymaker more than anything, was just the usefulness in this kind of platform of robotics.
Yeah. Yes. So then you used it to build robots, right? And all the crazy kind of things. So may I know, like, what kind of value did tokymaker bring to you?
Yeah. Many years ago, I was building some robots with Arduino, and I was doing that with a group of 3 other experienced programmers. All of us were very skilled programmers. All of us could handle hardware to some degree. We spent an entire day just being able to get the code to compile and push to the Arduino. We're not even talking about anything robotics. We were just happy to get LEDs to turn on and off. Okay. So this was college-educated, professional, experienced programmers, and it took us a day before we got that far. That sounds pretty rough. I went to a tokymaker workshop, and I saw kids in elementary school get that far in less than 5 minutes. They didn't understand that this is hard in some other technology stacks. Traditionally, Arduino is the way to go, but here they just pulled up a web browser, slid some blocks together, and now they had lights blinking on and off in whatever pattern they wanted to do. And that didn't take them a whole day. They immediately jumped into the programming step. It wasn't the figure out your environment step. And if it works, it works. I mean, this technology has no ramp up time. You just start creating.
Thank you. Yeah, this is I believe this is one of our strengths. I think also we created that based on also ourselves. Like we also enjoyed this experience as well. We felt also the need of creating something that it could work right out of the box and could combine not just coding but also electronics in a very simple way. So yeah, I can imagine this situation. And so among everything, what is the thing that you like the most?
Well, for me, I mean, I can always code around hardware issues, but having the hardware work just flat out, that was nice. You can just treat all inputs as like a 0 to 100 value. You don't have to worry about the libraries, the drivers, whatever. If you've got some sort of attachment with 3 wires and you plug it in the side, it typically just works. It comes in as a 0 to 100 value. Same for output devices. What if you were to spit 50 to it? Well, it goes about half speed. It doesn't matter. Was that a motor? Okay, it's a motor. Was it a light? It's about half as bright. I mean, these kind of things are very intuitive to get things in and out. And for things that are harder, well, it's been made easier. Like I did some stuff with image recognition in the Pixie Cam. I just plugged right into the top. The Pixie Cam kind of did some of the heavy lifting of figuring out that maybe I care about red objects a lot. And it would tell me red objects are here. But then the tokymaker just picked it up and was able to utilize that. So it made for very easy coding for something that would obviously be very hard to do without this kind of stack built in.
I see. So you have a son, right? And your son also experienced that. So you are a very techie person and you love technology. And I guess you found also a way to share this experience with your son as he also got involved with tokymaker and the building projects, right?
Yeah. So part of what I'd seen is I've been to some workshops before for other technologies where it wasn't professional programmers getting involved. And I was a little disappointed in what I saw in a lot of these workshops. You had the instructor giving prepackaged code to all the people, or half the hardware had already been set up for them, or they followed a list of instructions, 1 to 10, and they didn't even know what they were doing. They were just typing some command somebody told them to type. It didn't mean they got understanding. It just got them to the starting line. And when the people doing this were young enough, their attention span just didn't tolerate it. They would get tired of it. They just didn't want to even deal with this. This isn't fun. Why would anybody want to do this? And so they give up. And so I didn't want my son to be exposed in that kind of manner. What he needs to deal with is learning coding and doing the fun part right from the beginning. Like you slid blocks around, now your LEDs are flashing. You can hook up a dial and make things move around a screen. Whatever it is you're wanting to create, you just started creating it. And you got results immediately. So very quick feedback loops. And it was a more sustainable way to introduce them to this kind of stuff.
I see. Thanks. So, okay, I have a last question, Tracy. Thank you very much for this information. So if you recommend us, why would you do it?
Because it works. That's the simple part. Yes, you could do it with C++. C++ is hard. It works great, but you've got a learning curve and it's difficult. And why would you make yourself do that? You slide blocks together and it gets the job done. And it was easy and fast. If any language is easy and fast, well, that's the one to use. So yeah, I mean, if it works, it works. I mean, I don't know how you would get something of this kind of prototyping ability done any better.
So you think that the experience that your kid had with us encouraged him to pursue a professional future related to technology or engineering?
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely part of it. I mean, obviously, I'm quite science inclined, so that may have rubbed off a lot as well. But I mean, certainly he's not afraid of coding. I mean, he picked up the coding skills that he's going to need, and he's going into a very techie path for college, obviously. But even if he wasn't, I think almost everybody needs some programming skills that's in high school today. I think in the future, programming is no longer just one of these things that a small percentage of the population can do. It's now a life skill, and he's got it. So I did good. That was one of my jobs. I'm a parent,
Yes.
so I gotta make sure that he at least gets the things he needs when he comes out of school. So even if he wasn't going into some crazy difficult college path, he would still use this, hopefully.
I see. Well, thank you very much, Tracy. I think this is very insightful for me. I hope it is for the rest of the community who is thinking on getting a device, a STEAM or coding and electronics platform for their kids or for themselves. Thank you, Tracy. I think that's that's all for now, and just thank you again.
All right, thanks, and good luck.